I read the book Paper Towns by John Green. I feel that many high school students can relate to this book, mostly because it revolves around three best friends in their senior year of high school. This book is very mysterious and suspicious. It's really hard to put down because you never know what's going to happen next. This book is very unique because the theme of the book is so powerful and important. I love how this book is so inspiring and teaches one that you might think of a person as they are, but once you get to discover them more and more throughout your life, the less you might see the person you thought you knew. I love that this book includes situations that are so relatable and that can happen any day to an average teenager. The little details that John Green includes in this book makes it seem so realistic. I enjoyed the suspicious and mysterious but humorous tone that the author put into this book. There were parts that made me laugh, but then there were parts I was very questionable about what would happen next. This book influenced my own writing because I realized that there is so much detail that one can put in a book that makes it so much more interesting. I think my writing will become more detailed and more relatable to people my age.
Eleanor and Park is a story being taken in the 80s about teenage love that is doomed. This book is written completely in a teenager's point of view. Rainbow Rowell does not mess around in this book. She speaks exactly like a teenager, which is straight to the point with no flowery descriptions. It is obvious she doesn't write this book in a way to appeal to younger audiences. She just writes in a teenager's point of view, which I find very appealing and a better read. Although Rainbow Rowell gets straight to the point, the amount of detail she puts into this book is impeccable. Rainbow Rowell had many themes in this book besides the obvious doomed teenage love. Rowell included many difficult real-life situations into Eleanor and Park, situations like domestic abuse, child abuse, bullying, and body image. When introducing these themes, Rowell didn't even try to sugarcoat them. Rowell made the themes in Eleanor and Park very clear and introduced them in a way that made one think, making it memorable. There is such an overwhelming power to this book that will swallow you and not leave. I found that I can turn to any page and there will always be a quote good enough to memorize. Eleanor and Park is a beautifully crafted masterpiece. Rainbow Rowell truly outdid herself. From the first page, I knew I would fall in love with the book, especially when it appeared that Rowell has structured the book to be in both Eleanor's and Park's point of view, making it far more interesting and appealing. Having analyzed, Rainbow Rowell has influenced my writing in such a positive way. I strive to even come close to Rainbow Rowell's writing style, which is being completely straightforward and sticking by her characters. I have never read a book so unique and filled with impeccable detail, but is written completely in a teenager's point of view. This book is truly memorable and empowering.
The book I chose to read was Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen, which is about a girl named Auden who's out of touch with the world, but she kind of decides to go to her father's house for the summer. And she meets a guy named Eli who's also kind of out of touch with the world after a horrible accident. So together they kind of be more in touch with the world together. I like her writing style because her writing uses lots of details to the point where it's like a movie in your head and you kind of want it to be a movie, so you can see if others picture the details like you pictured them. And she uses small words in size, but they use big meanings when you think about it, and it's written in first person so well that you can imagine that you were the person. And this will help my writing style because analyzing her reading and writing, her books have influenced me to write about real problems, issues, or just day-to-day life, and make tiny yet big enough details that people can imagine the writing in their book in the head, without having to think much. In addition to that, make the characters realistic, like normal people you would see on the street, but also try not to draw attention to how they look, but how they act, what characteristics they have, and how they respond to tough situations. And instead of putting myself as a writer, put myself as the character and write the book from there. And finally, the most important thing I've learned from reading her book is that not every book has to have a happy ending.